appears that Howard Stern has had enough of anti-vaxxers. Turning from his week off, he decided to set his sights on NBA player Kyrie Irving for refusing to get vaccinated. Take a look.
You talk about stupid. There's some people who are willing to walk away from millions of dollars and not get vaccinated. And I got to say, they're so stupid, they're putting their mouth where their money is. I got to tell you, it's pretty incredible. One of them is that basketball player,
Kyrie Irving.
He's my favorite dude who's like putting his money where his mouth is. You got to say, in terms of idiots, he's got to be the top idiot in the country right now. Guy's got a chance as a young man to make millions of dollars. All he's got to do is get vaccinated, but he doesn't want to get vaccinated. So
I've never heard a reason why. Did he have a reason?
He doesn't need a reason. It's just that he's stupid. You know, because this guy's got a history of being stupid. He's one of those guys who's a flat earther, too. And you know what it is? He doesn't know anything.
Oh, boy.
He just knows, well, I can't figure... His mind works in a very strange way. He's like, I can't figure out gravity. So therefore, it probably doesn't exist. And just because they tell me there's gravity doesn't mean there's gravity. Or he goes... All I know is I go to the beach and like I look out at the ocean and I see it's flat. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't give a fuck what they say.
So, little correction, Kyrie Irving. Sorry. But all right. Now, here's the thing. Howard Stern, 100%. Yes. Guess what? Controversial opinion. I believe not getting vaccinated is stupid. I cry all you want about me being mean. Oh, you're discriminating against me because I hate science. Oh, no. No, Snowflake, you're being stupid. And not only are you being stupid, but you're also being selfish. It's been proven by now that the vaccine is safe to use and effective at keeping you alive and out of the hospital. I know. Oh, but Colin Powell just died from COVID-19 and he was double vaccinated. He also had a blood cancer. And which of course affects your immunity. Just 0.004% of all vaccinated Americans who contract COVID do so seriously enough to die from complications involving COVID-19. Most of those people, a large majority, happen to be elderly people over the age of 65. I bet a big chunk of them, as a result, had compromised immune systems as part of their medical history. And so people, again, understand vaccinated people are not dying en masse from COVID-19. And by the way, they're also not dying as a result of the vaccine either. Not only that, but they're not injecting microchips into your body. Trust me, do you think a corporation is going to, or the government, is going to waste as much money, even if the technology were available to microchip people through vaccines? Do you think that they would waste that money on your dumbass? Like living out there in like rural Paducah, right? And you're just out there in your town of 500 people that the government is going to be like, I want to know where Bob Smith is. I'm tracking Bob Smith right now. He got vaccinated. And now Bob Smith, he's taking a shit right now. Yes, congratulations. You're really stupid if you believe that. I'm sorry, you're not a smart person if you believe that. Again, this would only be really relegated towards, if there were some sort of insidious plot going on, then they would be tracking journalists, no doubt. They would be tracking rabble-rousers, right? People who are very, very high-profile rabble-rousers. I'm talking like Martin Luther King Jr. type of rabble-rouser, which the FBI, of course, had tried to convince to kill himself in Roblox, okay? So that's the thing. They're not going to go after you, rando-ass person. Your DNA is not being changed, okay? You're not going to become magnetic. You're not going to be Magneto, all right? And no amount of putting coins and spoons on your head is going to prove that, mainly because coins and spoons aren't really magnetic. All right? And so, look, natural immunity, by the way, they talk about, oh, natural immunity, natural immunity. Yeah, natural immunity is good. The problem with natural immunity is that you have to get COVID first in order to achieve it. You got to get raw dogged by the virus in order to get that natural immunity. Now, unfortunately, over 700,000 Americans did not survive getting raw dogged. And no doubt, countless others would not have survived either had they not gotten vaccinated in the first place or worn masks. Okay? And yes, by the way, now the conservative focus is not on vaccination because they hate that, but they say, well, we have treatments. We have treatments. Look at hydroxychloroquine, which doesn't work. Look at the what is it? The Regeneron. Oh, we got the Regeneron. Now, Regeneron does work. That is effective. But then they're like, well, then we get the Z-Pack, and then we got the ivermectin, and then they take all those together, and one of them does work, the others don't, but then they say, oh, well, it must be the ivermectin. No, it was the Regeneron, which, by the way, Regeneron costs a lot of money. Regeneron is $2,500 per treatment. That's $1,250 a piece for just one of the 2-drug cocktail. Okay. Now, look, $2,500, that's nothing if you make $34 million a year. All right. However, there are people without health insurance. There are poor people that have a lot harder time being able to afford those treatments. And that is, of course, if the government's not paying for it. Now, if the government's paying for it, that means more taxpayer money going into the pocket of Big Pharma, which is opposed to, of course, a $20 vaccine, which is also created by Big Pharma. Either way, Big Pharma is getting paid. Now, $20 versus $2,500, plus, the average stay for a hospital visit for COVID-19, if you happen to get sick, like seriously ill, is upwards of $20,000. And in instances where that's not paid by the government, that's on you and in your insurance. Either way, you're using either your own money or taxpayer money that are going to these hospitals or that are going to Big Pharma. That ends up being far more than what you would pay even if it weren't free for a vaccine. So the numbers make absolutely no sense. In fact, you would think that Big Pharma would want you to get sick, which they don't because it's bad for their reputation because they developed the vaccines, and take Regeneron. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. In fact, as I said before, the $20 vaccine, in many cases prevents you from getting sick enough to go to the hospital and need the expensive treatments in the first place. It just doesn't make any sense. Just doesn't make any sense why people would, think that these other drugs, which, by the way, getting a prescription for ivermectin, you can't just get it from your doctor, right? Most doctors on insurance doesn't want to cover it because it doesn't work. And so you also have a lot of doctors that won't prescribe it. Unless, of course, you're Joe Rogan, who has millions of dollars and is famous. Unless you're Kyrie Irving, which is, again, incredibly wealthy. Of course, the doctor's going to be like, yo, I can hook you up with the ivermectin. Sure. And that's exactly what happens. Most people don't do that. And so they can't go and get a prescription, and they end up having to raid the Tractor Supply store for the non-human version of ivermectin. Total ridiculousness. And by the way, the American, America's Frontline Doctors was caught running a scheme where they, of course, will push people into doing these so-called doctor consultations, telehealth, which will then go, oh yeah, we will prescribe you with ivermectin. By the way, give us $90 for the telehealth, whereas again, you can go get a free vaccine. And by the way, once you get your prescription, you're gonna have to pay this company out of pocket to ship the ivermectin and Z-Pack and all this stuff to you separately. So it's gigantic. I think they made something like $5.7 million at the beginning of the year just off this scam. It's absolute ridiculousness. But anyway, I'm getting off the kind of getting off the point here, but like understand that generally you're SOL with America's healthcare system, which is based on profit. You're a regular working person, you're not going to be able to afford those treatments, the Regeneron stuff. You're actually better off getting a vaccine. So that's why this is ultimately stupid. And by the way, it's not even about personal freedom. If it just affected him, totally fine. However, this can infect others. And also, by the way, he has a larger platform and could convince others, and maybe have convinced others, not to get vaccinated by spreading nonsense conspiracies about the vaccine. That's why this is dangerous. That's why he's not being allowed to play, because he's setting a terrible example for his fans, and also could, potentially infect staff or even, people that are at these games. Now, the same issue with Joe Rogan. And by the way, I think Russell Brand are also, off the rails in spreading bullshit, debunked conspiracies. It's the same kind that go around every time there's a pandemic and a vaccine. Understand that we have seen this movie before. Pandemic comes around, kills a lot of people. Scientists develop a vaccine. A bunch of dipshit hardliners decide not to take it. The pandemic decides to then, of course, lingers as a result. Comes back, maybe even in bigger waves, kills more people. And the only thing that gets us out of the cycle happen to be vaccine mandates. I mean, look at the 1918 influenza. It's exactly what happened. So, all right, one more last video here from Howard Stern. Take a look.
I'll tell you what, though. I don't know who runs the Brooklyn Nets, but I wish they were running the country. I love this. I love it. Basically saying, listen, douchebag, you got to do what is right. That's it. We got people here. We got teammates. We got to protect, blah, 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 blah.
I don't think I could have put it better. Yeah, you're being a douchebag. Yeah, you're not doing what's right. So guess what? We're going to do what we can to pressure you by making it as annoying as possible to, for you to go around and infect people, right? And not get vaccinated. Understand that we can, I'm against holding people down and sticking them with a vaccine, sticking them with a needle. I think that's terrible. I think that's wrong. That's an actual violation of your human rights, right? But mandates saying, well, you can either do this or you can't participate in this fun thing or go into this certain building. I think that is fair. And so, yes, it may be annoying, but that's kind of the point. Kind of the point. And so I'm sorry, but I think these mandates are the only way to try to put this COVID shit behind us. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.